Hello, everybody. My name is Yolo the Magi. Today, if you guys want to join me, drink some water, drink some coffee, whatever you're doing, whatever time you're at, where you're at, and join me for this talk about courage. Today, I want to talk about choosing to be brave. I have a quote here from, I actually forgot to write it down. I'll put it in the editing. It says, "Courage is the complement of fear. A man who is fearless cannot be courageous. He is also a fool." Excuse me, there's flies hitting me in the face, little maggots or whatever. Oftentimes, when we walk through life, we come across things that seem daunting, seem like these giants that we can't overtake. How are we supposed to deal with it? Are we supposed to be scared and run away? Or postpone it? Oftentimes that's what we do, but it doesn't really make sense, right? Instead of facing the things we want to do, we'd rather hide from them and run from them. But unfortunately, that's kind of where our mind as men goes. Many times in life we come across something that in our eyes is incredibly daunting or seems too big for us to handle. So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to run away? Are we supposed to go find something else to do? Are we supposed to go run from it? Makes a lot of sense, right? But unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the times as younger men, this is where we end up going, or better said, younger people in our generation. A lot of the times we put things off for later. I want to do X, but I'm not ready yet. That's often a lot of the times what our cope is. We make copes for our fear and our procrastination. What's cool is that the quote from the beginning frames it in an amazing way. A man who is fearless cannot be courageous. He is also a fool. Oftentimes our shadows will hide our fears and make us just put it off. We don't feel like facing the dragon today. Oh, I'm too tired, I'll do it tomorrow. That's oftentimes what we tell ourselves. I do this whenever I have a new business idea. I know it's something I'd love to do, but what happens? I wait, I say, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna wait till I have this done, or I get scared and I just put it off. But wait for what? What does waiting do for me? It doesn't do anything for me. I often don't feel very courageous, although on the outside it may seem that way. But I find it hard to conquer big things. But at the end of the day, what is that? It's all a self-belief. As I wrote this, I'm here looking at my notes. As I wrote this, I went back into my journal about a year ago. And I talked about wanting to be disciplined like I had been before. I wrote this probably in June, I believe. June of last year. No, it was somewhere around May. Something like that. But I had wrote down all the Bushido virtues and what the Bushido code says about them. This is the quote for you, or courage. Hiding like a turtle in a shell is not living at all. A true warrior must have heroic courage. It is absolutely risky. It is living life completely, fully, and wonderfully. Heroic courage is not blind. It is intelligent and strong. Think about what it just said right there. I'm going to read it again. Heroic courage is not blind. It is intelligent and strong. This is beautiful because it means that we don't have to feel courageous for us to be courageous, if that makes sense. The lack of courage you feel is exactly what you need to be courageous. It's the predecessor. The predecessor for courage is fear. Isn't that insane? While I was writing this, I was thinking about, like I was saying, how I don't always feel courageous. I don't always feel like I can do these things. But if I did feel that, then it wouldn't be courageous, right? It would just be stupid. It would just just being dumb and running into anything. But that fear and that logic is basically what we overcome to become courageous. Amazing how it says it. Here's another iteration of that quote. Hiding like a turtle in a shell is not living. A true warrior must have heroic courage, a relentless need to realize what happiness means to them. One must live life completely and wonderfully. I'm going to repeat that last part. A relentless need to realize what happiness means to them. One must live life completely and wonderfully. It's saying to grab life by the freaking balls, man. And go and make what you want happen. See what happiness is for you and make it happen. That's a scary thing to face, life like that. Oftentimes we're so conditioned to react to life instead of trying to go make things happen. Instead of viewing life as something happening to us, it's about making life happen. It's amazing. Now I kind of have something, a solution that's been working for me, right? Not to say there is more, but this is working for me now. Guys, if anyone ever tells you this is the only way, they're wrong. Like the Buddha says, if someone tells you they have the way, run away from them or kill them. I forgot exactly what it says, but no one has the right answer. The only thing people offer to you is their experience. We're all different people. But here's what has been working for me. Now, a little side note about me. I'm someone who thinks a lot. I overthink everything. I love to look deeply into things. I love to go find deeper things about subjects that I'm interested, like psychology, philosophy, religion. I love looking into that stuff. Now, this is great because it gives me, well, that's why I have the Magi in my name, because it has to do with the Jungian magician archetype, for those who are into that. But going into all these things is great, it's fantastic, but then in regular life, it takes me forever to get started in things. For example, this video, wanting to do this, it's taken me maybe a year, and here I am doing it. And you know how I did it? I'm going to talk about it right here. So, it was funny because I started with the conversation with one of my friends, and he's very similar to me, and we talked about this idea from a joke. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it's like, I haven't had a profound thought all day. Something like that. It's like R-word maxing, retard maxing. I don't know if YouTube lets me say that. But just don't overthink, man. Just do. As I walked out of the car to come film this video, there's people here nearby. And I was like, man, is it going to be embarrassing? Is it going to be weird? You know what I mean? Are these people going to be looking at me with the tripod right here in the middle of the park? But man, who cares? Don't think about it. Just go and do it. You know? I don't know if you guys have ever, well, I'm guessing if you're in self-improvement, you've asked a girl out. But I remember one time in high school I did that. I had taken her outside of the class, and as I was telling her that I liked her and all this stuff, you know what I mean, my brain went into this autopilot mode. There was no thinking, it was just autopilot. So telling her, hey, you know, this is how I feel about you, you know what I mean? Back when we were the awkward high school stage. Anyways, you know, the overthinking in me is, oh, what if she says this, what if she does this? I was like, whatever, man. If she likes me, she likes me. If she doesn't, she doesn't. And it is what it is. You know, it's really not that deep a lot of the time. And even in other things, I used to do wholesaling. And it took me a long time to do that. I think I wanted to start doing that for a whole year again, another whole year. And then I started doing it for myself for a few weeks, and then I got an opportunity in a job. And it was just so easy, man. It really is so easy. We just overcomplicate things in our head. Have courage, man. Go, push. What this world needs is more men of action. A lot of the times we get stuck in these ruts in our head of, like I was saying, oh, what are people gonna think? Oh, that's stupid. I don't want to do that because that's stupid. Oh, well, it's gonna take too much work. But all this stuff is just copes for fear. It's a cope of protection. It's our mind trying to protect us, right? We go through all these things in our childhood, and all of a sudden when we get older, we're a certain way. And it's not necessarily good or bad, right? That's the Jungian view of it. We have our ego and our shadow. But these things that we don't like about ourselves were often a survival mechanism. But it's our responsibility once that we're adults to say, hey, you know, thank you so much for what you've done for me. You have that, what's the word? Have that love for yourself, that compassion for yourself. Like, I'm fearful to start this. I'm procrastinating it. Thank you so much, fear, because you have protected me up until now. But I don't need you anymore. I don't need to be fearful anymore. I need to just go and have that healing with yourself. I'll make more videos on that. That's another part of my journey that I've been through. Um, let's see here. Now, let's see here. Going on back to the script that I wrote. Jordan Peterson, and when he talks about this in his clinical practice, he talks about how he would meet people that were just overly scared of everything in life. Let's say, for example, he used this example. Someone was scared to go up in an elevator. They just had this insane fear. They couldn't be near elevators, anything like that. So what he would do is he'd tell them, okay, think about the elevator. Just picture it in your head. Okay, you're thinking about the elevator. Is that too scary for you? It's like most of the times, well, no, it's an elevator. Okay, now imagine yourself walking close to the elevator, and then imagine yourself inside the elevator, and then okay, little baby steps, and then all of a sudden they take the person the next week. Okay, let's go to an elevator, and they just take them outside, and then same thing. Okay, touch the elevator. Okay, we're good. We see people come in and out. Okay, they're fine. All right, now let's take a step into the elevator. Okay, we took a step into the elevator. And then, all right, we don't have to ride it, let's get out. And then next week, okay, now let's try to ride the elevator. Let's do the whole thing and try to ride it all over again. And you see, he talks about the archetypal story of slaying the dragon. Now, this is a story, the Jungian interpretation as, the mother, the anima, comfortable life, everything like that. But it means so much more. In this instance, I want to talk about how conquering our fear is like fighting the dragon. And what Jordan Peterson was talking about here was basically making the dragon into the most smallest possible piece that you can or the smallest possible dragon you can possibly make it. And you're conquering little dragons as you go. I'm turning on the noise cancellation, it's a little loud. It's about conquering those little dragons. As you go, you make the dragon as small as you can so that you can conquer it. And then you keep going up until it doesn't seem like that scary of a thing. It's like in Shrek, right? We've all seen it. The dragon seems all scary. And then all of a sudden, I haven't seen Shrek in a long time, granted. But all I know is that she wasn't that scary or they beat her. I don't remember. But the point is that it's not ever as bad as we make it seem 90% of the time. A lot of the times with our fear, it's like, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? Okay, we're going to, oh God, I'm going to look embarrassed a little bit in front of my friends. Oh, they're going to call me cringe when I post this on Instagram or on YouTube. All the people at the park are going to be like, oh my God, he's recording a video. It's not that deep, man. It's never that deep. Now I just want to finish off with this quote from Mark Twain. It's actually in Minecraft. And I remember reading this quote when I was small and never understanding what it means. And then I remember in high school, or no, it was after high school, my high school best friend, Brian Jones, if you're watching this, I love you, man. We beat the Ender Dragon, and then all the series of the quotes come. And then this one impacted me, and this has been a quote that every time I feel fearful, I always come back to it. It starts like this. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than the ones you did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Mark Twain said that. Instead of thinking about, what if this fails? Oh, the likelihood of this working there's not a high likelihood. Oh, if I tell this girl that I like her, oh, well, she'll probably tell me, oh, I don't like you. But what if you did, and what if she did like you? What if that job did like you? What if they did hire you for that job? What if you had the bravery to go and conquer these things and do the things you wanted to do? What type of life would you live if you were to say, everything that I desire, I'm going to go and get it? Oftentimes, people, when they die and they're on their deathbed, they say, I wish I could have done this. I wish I would have done this. A lot of times, people that are older say, man, if I was in my 20s again, man, once I retire, man, once I get this bonus, once I get this check, once I get this raise, then I'll go do it. But do it now. There's a quote that says something along the lines of, there's no better time like 10 years ago. And then the second best time is right now. Either that or the best time to start is right now. Then you could even go to Lao Tzu. The journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. Go. Conquer life. Do not fear. And I want to end with this Bible verse. It's in Joshua 1:9. It says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Now you can look at this from the Christian view. For those guys that aren't Christian, you could look at this from a spiritual view. If we look at God as the universe, God is here for you to succeed. You just have to put your trust in it. Put your trust in God and go and do your work. Go and take the steps to go to where you need to be or where you want to be. And with that, I'll end the video.